I know a lot of people who would love to save energy because the traditional method of making sourdough bread uh, is always asking us to preheat the oven at 450 degrees Fahrenheit with a Dutch oven inside for around 45 minutes to an hour. So who has 45 minutes to preheat plus all the energy that we are spending on nothing else but preheating? But let's see if it's possible to do it without preheating the oven and from a cold Dutch oven and a cold oven.
For this experiment, I will prepare 2 loaves of bread at 50% hydration. To start, I combine 700 grams or 3 cups of water with 900 grams or 7¼ cups of bread flour and 100 grams or 3/4 of a cup of whole wheat flour. I mixed everything until the dough came together, and then I let it rest, covered with a towel, for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, I added 200 grams or 2/3 of a cup of ripe sourdough starter. I stretched and folded the dough to incorporate the sourdough starter into the dough. I let the dough rest covered with a kitchen towel for another 30 minutes. Finally, I added 50 grams of water, mixed with 20 grams of sea salt. I stretched and folded the dough to incorporate all the water in the dough, and I let the dough rest another 30 minutes. From there, I stretched and folded the dough 4 times every 30 minutes to add strength and tension to the dough. The resting times of 30 minutes in between stretch and folds help the dough develop the gluten and elasticity in the dough. After the last resting time, I took the dough out of the bowl and portioned it in 2 equal pieces with the help of a kitchen scale. I made 2 balls of dough and pre-shaped them. Then I covered with a towel 10 minutes to let the dough gain more strength. Finally, I shaped the dough and placed it in flour bread baskets. I covered the dough and let it rest for a couple hours. Then I put them in the fridge overnight for about 12 hours. The next day, I placed one of the doughs in a cold Dutch oven. Then I scored the bread and placed the Dutch oven in a cold oven. I covered the Dutch oven and then I turned on the oven at 455 degrees Fahrenheit or 230 degrees Celsius for 55 minutes. After 55 minutes, I removed the lid of the Dutch oven and I continued baking for 15 more minutes. After 15 more minutes, here's the result. It looks very good. Now, I place the other dough in the hot Dutch oven and I place it covered in the oven for 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, I remove the lid and let the dough bake for 20 more minutes until it was golden brown and looking like this. After letting my bread cool off, this is how they look. Honestly, they look very similar, but let's see how they look when I slice them. Here's the bread that I baked on the cold Dutch oven and cold oven. And now, here's the bread that I baked in a hot Dutch oven and hot oven.
So honestly, I wasn't expecting these results, and the results were really close. It actually came very close. You could tell in the bread that we baked on the really hot oven and Dutch oven that the crumb was a little bit more consistent, and you can tell a little bit of the difference. But if you are making bread every single other day and you are not really worried about having your crumb perfect, if you're making a bread that is gonna be only for you, or if you're making a bread that is just gonna be always for the house, I would say, why not using the cold oven method? You know, I'm even thinking that I'm gonna even start doing it myself, and I'm gonna even try to see what's the result if I do it in a consistent manner. So just stay tuned, and I'll keep posting more about this. But for now, what I see is that it doesn't really matter much. There's not a huge difference if you do it from a cold oven or a hot oven. So there it is. If you want to try it at home, try it at home. I invite you to do your own experimentation. I invite you to try it at home and leave your comments here in the box of the comments. And let's start a conversation about cold oven or hot oven. To me, honestly, if you want a perfect bread and a very more consistent crumb, just go for the hot oven. And if you have the time and you don't mind wasting the energy, but if you prefer to try the cold oven method, there you go. It's not a big deal. I know you're gonna love it and you're gonna love the results. So thank you for watching this video. Please like and share this video, and I'll see you in the next video.